What it do, ladies and gentlemen? It's your number one sports fanatic back again, feeding it to you live with my boy X and Ish. Okay, boys, introduce yourself to the people, man.
It's your boy X with, of course, X Talking Ish. Y'all can see us on our post game show on all social media platforms at 9 o'clock Central Time, 10 o'clock Eastern Time on Facebook, YouTube, and of course Twitter.
Yep.
We
I mean, pretty much he said it all right there. It's man ish, and we here to kick it with my man Dooley, of course.
Let's do it. Let's do it, man. We here to kick it. We here to do it once again, baby. So we're gonna start it off hot because this is not just about NFL this week, ladies and gentlemen. The NBA season has officially started. Okay. Now it's time to talk a little NBA basketball. First, we're gonna talk about Russell Westbrook. Is he a good fit for the Los Angeles Lakers? X, what you feel, bro? Talk to me, man.
I mean, at the end of the day, no matter where Westbrook has gone over the last 3 years, it doesn't really seem like he was a fit for them. But at the end of the day, at the end of the season, no matter where he was at, from the Rockets, OKC, and also with the Wizards, he found a way to click. Even with the Rockets, it might not seem like they did. They were able to at least get to the second round of playoffs. And for most teams out there, kind of like a team like the Sacramento Kings, they would take that any day of the week. A team that hasn't been to the playoffs in 15 years. But for right now, when it comes to what the Los Angeles Lakers are trying to do with Russell Westbrook, the Los Angeles Lakers are in a win now type of mode with the team that they have. And to be honest with you, they don't have time to really wait to get people on the same page. And the way that Russell Westbrook plays is, of course, he has to have the ball in his hand, he has to dominate the ball, and he has to, and he creates for others. Well, of course, in this offense, at least, of course, on the first string offense-wise, LeBron most likely will have the ball, and everything will be fed through Anthony Davis. With that being said, it makes, of course, Westbrook the third option on that offensive side of the ball. With that being said, the best way for everything and everyone to get what they want out of this Russell Westbrook experiment is, and which is not going to happen, but Russell Westbrook has to come off of the bench. If Westbrook comes off of the bench and runs that second team the way that he wants to, as in him being the guy with Melo and also of course with either Dwight or DeAndre Jordan, I honestly feel like that could be a really good fit for him because it doesn't put the pressure on him to have to get the scraps offensively from LeBron and Anthony Davis. Well, if to be honest with you, if it doesn't happen within 15 to 20 games of as in Westbrook understanding like, look, I might not be able to play on this first team, not because I'm not good enough, just because of I'm getting the scraps, and I can maybe you also win a six-man award if I come off of the bench, put my ego to the side, and realize that I could be very, very dominant with this team. At the end of the day, it comes down to egos. These are guys that are all stars, all pros, all all NBAs, and these are guys that are alpha males that do not want to. I want to say share the spotlight, but let's be real, share the ball from time to time. So it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens over the next month and a half to see what happens with LeBron and company because there will be a change that is going to have to be made.
What you feel, Ish?
I mean, a blind man could have told you that that's not a good fit, bruh. A blind man could have told you that. LeBron should have seen it coming from a mile away. Everyone else should have saw it coming from a mile away. It doesn't make sense. Russell Westbrook likes to have the ball in his hands. He dominates possession. He dominates the time. I know people will call. I know Russell Westbrook fans will point to Houston situation and say, "No, look at what he did with James Harden. He and James Harden found a way to make it work, and James Harden likes to have the ball in his hands too." Nah, bro, it's a totally different situation. And I would argue, look at how that ended. Not very well. Did they win anything? No, they did not. Okay. That I mean, it does not work when you have Russell Westbrook trying to play with LeBron and Anthony Davis. Now, will he figure it out? He's good enough that he's going to figure it out. They will figure it out. LeBron is good enough and LeBron is determined enough that he's going to work with them and they're going to figure it out. But what does that look like? I have absolutely no idea because this is a situation that Russell Westbrook has yet to be in. Even when he played with KD, it was Russell and KD. When he played in Houston, it was Russell and James Harden. He only ever had one other person that he had to worry about. And a lot of the times what they would do is, yeah, they would start the game together, but then they would end up, resting KD and letting Russell run the offense for a while. And then Russell would sit and KD would run the offense for a while. Same thing in Houston. They had their time where they were on the floor together, but there were a lot of periods where they allowed James Harden to run the team while Russell sat, and then Russell ran the team while James Harden was down. Not to mention, them fools was always hurt. They always hurt somehow, some way. They always found a way to get hurt and then not have to play together. So the Russell Westbrook situation in LA, I mean, from the very beginning, I was skeptical about it. I was kind of looking at it like, what are y'all doing? I understand it's like a homecoming situation, but really, Russell Westbrook, that's who you want to pair with Anthony Davis and LeBron James. I don't know. I mean, like I said, LeBron is determined enough, and he's the type of leader and the type of teammate that he's going to find a way to make it work, and they're going to do what they have to do. All this nonsense you talking about being a sixth man, that's not going to happen. They're not going to make Russell Westbrook a sixth man. I mean, they brought that man in so that he could be the starting point guard, and they're going to have to figure it out with him as a starting point guard. You said there's not enough time. They're in win now mode, bruh. You know they're going to make the playoffs. I don't care if they make the playoffs as the 8th seed. They got time to figure it out. It's 82 games. This is just one game in an 82-game schedule. They got plenty of time to work that out, gel together, and then when it gets time to playoffs, we'll see what happens. I mean, it's a LeBron league, so I bet they'll be in the finals, and I bet somehow the NBA rig it for them to win too, because the NBA is rigged. We already know that.
NBA is not rigged, but continue.
The NBA is rigged.
NBA is not rigged.
Huh?
In the 90s, yes. All right.
Oh, okay. All of a sudden now
They've already cleared all that out. They cleared all that out already.
Oh, okay. Now they were like, oh, okay, let's stop rigging it now.
All right. That's what he needs to do. He needs to get clean the swamp, right?
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you how I feel about this, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm going to be honest. I felt the same way you all felt. Russell Westbrook, he doesn't quite fit anywhere. We all know he's a great player, but it's like what I thought was LeBron, who is my favorite player, could fit in with just about any player that has ever played basketball, considering the fact he plays the way he plays the game of basketball in his style of play. But I think I was wrong. Russell Westbrook is just one of those players that will not fit in LeBron's team. And that's rare because LeBron passes, he shoots it, he can pretty much work with anybody. So Russell Westbrook, and I'll talk to a whole bunch of Russell Westbrook fans. Look, I can't even say the man's name clear. On Twitter, I was arguing all night, debating all night. All those fans kept trying to tell me this and tell me that, how the Lakers need to revolve around Westbrook. Hold on. The Lakers are champions. Westbrook is not. Westbrook's style of play has gotten him nothing but individual awards, no championships. So does Russell Westbrook, do the Lakers need to revolve around Russell Westbrook? Or does Russell Westbrook need to understand how to play championship basketball and being there for his team in any way possible? Because let's talk about lineups, right? If LeBron and Russ are in the game at the same time, that's still a bad lineup. Why? Because LeBron can stand in the corner, but why would you want LeBron in the corner? You want LeBron with the basketball. Westbrook cannot stand in the corner, and Bron needs space to operate. Then everybody was telling me about Rondo and Westbrook. That doesn't make sense either. The only lineup that would make sense is Westbrook and everybody else except LeBron and Rondo. They can't be on the court together. It's not going to work right unless either Rondo or Westbrook learn how to hit a corner three more consistently. What you feel about that, X, man? Because honestly, this is crazy, bro. Everything we discussed, I didn't hope for it to happen, but it's actually occurring to the Los Angeles Lakers. And we all just know how Russell Westbrook can be such a cancer. Like, I heard somebody say this the other day. Russell Westbrook is the weakest superstar. That kind of hit home for me. Like, wow, they may have something there. What you feel, X, bro?
I mean, it all depends on your definition of quote unquote weakest. I mean, at the end of the day, people feel some type of way about Steph Curry still. People still feel some type of way about Dame Lillard. People feel about some type of way about every player out here, no matter what sport it is. You can't please everybody. With that being said, Westbrook, when he retires, he'll look back on his career as a productive and a winning career because he was able to play in the NBA for a long period of time. He was able to surpass the triple-double record and also be even closer with the Big O because of what he's able to do on the court and also being able to bring some name recognition back to Oscar Robertson. But overall, I mean, Russell, let's be real. And, of course, everybody saw Russell's pregame outfit. I mean, let's be real. Russell is known for his pregame outfits. Mm-hmm. For me, it just feels like Russ. He's not worried about winning a ring.
Right.
Like, that's not a part of his legacy. Like
right.
I think he's just so focused on other things outside of basketball, which is understandable. Again, use the advantages that you have of being able to play basketball or football or baseball to be able to get everything that you want in his life. From LeBron doing media to KD doing podcasts or Draymond Green doing podcasts or, whatever you're trying to do business ventures wise and all that stuff like that, right? Do what you do. But when we go back and judge the players and say, oh, this player is ranked this high, you as a player can't go back and say, oh, well, I should be ranked this high because your time is up. You should have did that, when you was on the court. Because if you look at a guy, let's just go back, of course, to the OKC trio, Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook. Unfortunately, all three of their careers will always be entertained with playing at OKC and wondering what if they all stayed together, right? Well, Kevin Durant has won multiple Finals MVPs. Harden has won multiple MVP regular season MVPs, hasn't been to a Finals just yet. And Westbrook has won a MVP, but again, it just seems like unless he has to carry the whole team like he has done with OKC or even with the Washington Wizards, if Westbrook has to just be a team guy, it just doesn't seem like it works for him. And I know it sounds messed up, but it's just the truth. I'm not saying he's a selfish person. I'm not saying he's a bad guy. It's just he's that 115 miles per hour guy that's not going to slow down. He's going to play his way. Right. And the only way he's going to stop is if you literally get him hurt. That's the only way he's going to stop. So I haven't, literally from UCLA to where he's at now, I have not seen him slow down. And I don't plan on seeing him slow down. So again, the Lakers are going to have to figure something out because like what Ish said before this, when it happened in the offseason, when they said Westbrook was coming, I wasn't jumping up for joy as a Lakers fan. I was just like, okay, we'll see what happens. That's because Westbrook is not the added piece to win a championship. Like that's not the piece that we needed to be like, oh yeah, we got Russell Westbrook. Like, yeah, we're going to the final. Like no, that was not it at all. So to see it play out,
huh? What you say
I said they can definitely find a way to do it with him, though.
Of course, but that's my point. My point is you have to tell him get your ass on the bench and come off of the bench, run the second team, and you can help us tremendously. And instead of looking like crap, the Los Angeles Lakers can score 115, 125 points every game if they had that offensive set first team and second team.
Absolutely.
That's just my opinion.
No, I agree.
Again, LeBron and AD just scored 30. They scored 30. LeBron almost had another triple double, and then Westbrook, he can hit 20 to 30 coming off the bench, running his own offense. Again, that's 115 points every game. Like I'm not. It's so common sense and it's so easy.
Yes.
The only way it's not going to work is if Westbrook ego is so far up his ass to where he's like, I'm not going to do it. All right, get his ass out of there. Trade him out of there and get Ben Simmons in there or something to where it works for both parties. But for some of these teams out here in the NBA, besides the Lakers, the Bucks, the Sixers, maybe the Celtics, the Jazz, some of these teams are win now. They're trying to win now. And if they want to, and if they feel like, hey, you are a detriment to what we're trying to go, we're gonna get you up out of here. And that's just what I see more often moving forward, not just with basketball, but a lot of these sports, to where either you with us or we're gonna get you up out of here. So
you either with us or you against us, baby. But let's move on. I'm tired of Russell Westbrook.
Me too.
Okay, 3 for 12 back. Get out of here and make some baskets, son. Let's move on. Does the Brooklyn Nets need Kyrie to win a championship? Ladies and gentlemen, let me start this one off. The answer is yes. The Brooklyn Nets need Kyrie to win a championship, period. The way they went into Milwaukee yesterday, they didn't even faze Milwaukee. Mind you, Milwaukee is a great team, but hey, everybody always talks about this player named KD. Everybody talks about this player, James Harden. KD and James Harden didn't do enough yesterday, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? So they need Kyrie in order to win the championship. And if Kyrie doesn't come, I don't even know if they get out the East. I don't know if a healthy KD and a healthy James Harden could beat the Bucks. That's how good of a team the Bucks is. Not to mention, I said it, Giannis is a top 2 player in the world. Whether you got him at number 1 or number 2, period. He's a top 2 player in the world now. That's just something we got to accept, especially the fact that he's starting to shoot the basketball better. Excuse me. But let's just be honest. Giannis didn't need to, whether or not he shoot the ball, he's good for 30, 40 points, period. That's how good of a player Giannis Antetokounmpo is, ladies and gentlemen. He's good for 30, 40 points, period, without a jump shot. The fact he can shoot now, okay, you got to give the kid the number 1 or number 2 best player in the world. But Ish, go ahead, man. Give me some gas. But hold on. Before you go, Ish, I see, my boy Donnell, what you think about Westbrook on the Lakers? Donnell, you know what I feel, brother. We already told you about that. We're not even going to go back to that. We're just tired of Westbrook and his antics. And if Westbrook wants to win a championship, then Westbrook must play basketball in the correct fashion. Okay, let me continue. Yes. So back to Kyrie, baby. So talk to me, babe. Ish, what you think about Kyrie, man? Do the Nets? Okay, can Harden and KD do it? I mean, what? They're both MVPs, you know.
No. I'm just gonna keep it simple. No, they can't. They cannot do it. They can't. They need Kyrie there and not even necessarily they need Kyrie there because Kyrie is that great. Kyrie just offers something that they as a duo don't offer. He's an extra piece to the puzzle that they need just to make it work. Because when you look at some of these other teams, like you pointed out, the Bucks, when you look at the Lakers, like you just talked about, I mean, the other teams that you're fighting with to win a championship, you're not going to do it with KD and James Harden. Not to mention, we've already seen that it doesn't work when you rely on those two because those two always hurt. Like, they are always hurt. You can't rely on KD and James Harden to be there all the time. You need someone else to be there, and Kyrie has to be that guy to carry the weight when one of them goes down or when both of them go down, because, I mean, with them, it's likely that both of them going to be down at the same time. So they definitely need him to be there. Now, whether or not he's going to be there, that's a whole nother story. At this point, I mean, I might just think about trying to trade and see what you could get. But really, with the way that he's been acting and what teams have been seeing, I don't think anyone wants to trade for Kyrie. I know they put the headline out there that the Brooklyn was maybe exploring a trade. What trade? There is no trade to be had because nobody wants to take that risk on what Kyrie's going to do, whether or not Kyrie actually want to play basketball. You don't even know if he wants to play basketball at this moment. So that's a whole nother problem that you got to deal with. So I just think, we know that they need him. Whether or not he's actually going to be there and play with the team, that's a whole nother story for another day.
Right. X, what you got for me?
I mean, which I thought was going to be the silly one to say, oh, no, oh, yeah, they can win a championship without Kyrie. I mean, it's the reason why you get this big three is because, you want to win a championship with these guys. It's I wouldn't say it's unfortunate. It's just it's one of these situations where it's interesting. The way this whole thing is playing out from people that are in the political world coming out and talking about Kyrie that don't even know Kyrie, that just maybe a year ago with some of Kyrie's beliefs would probably talk down on him on some of the things that he believed in, but now of course praising him because he's refusing the vaccine, which of course depending on how you feel about it, good or bad, hey, that's your own opinion. But when it comes to what they have going on right now, when it comes to workplace and this, that, and the third, look, there's people out here that gotta get vaccinated to go to work and make $300 a week. And again, I'm not trying to make it seem like money, money doesn't matter. I'm sorry, money shouldn't be a reason for him to do it. I'm not saying that at all, but what I'm saying is there's a lot of people out here in this world that would mind because of, again, how they already feel about the vaccine. Don't mind taking that shot for $30 million a year. So there are people that out here that look at Kyrie as kind of ungrateful because if you go to other countries, the people out here are begging for this vaccine, right? And we live here in the United States where we're giving it for free, and there's other countries out here that are giving it to only the rich people, and pretty much the poor have to beg for a vaccine. So all in all, it's just very difficult to compartmentalize this whole situation because it's like you don't even want to be on somebody's side. It's not about being on somebody's side. It's just for the greater good. It's about the greater good. And one thing we know about sports, all of us have played sports before, right? We all know that the team gonna move along with or without you. It's just real. If you hurt, if you got your leg amputated, if you this, if you that, let's just give it back to Ryan Shazier. I love me to, Ryan Shazier and his story and this, that, and the third, but the Steelers ain't stopped playing. The Steelers ain't stopped what they were doing. They had to continue moving and continue to keep on playing. It was a blow. It was messed up, but it's just one of those things where the show has to continue on going. And the let's be real, the Nets can get to the Eastern Conference Finals, but beating the Bucks at the moment, the Bucks are the champions for a reason, and it does not look like they will be able to beat the Bucks just due to Greek Freak's maturity going into this season and getting better and looking like he hasn't won anything. So be interesting to see this season play out on the East side.
Exactly. I'm interested to see myself. Now let's switch the tides, ladies and gentlemen. We talked a little basketball. Let's carry it on to the NFL and talk a little football, baby. Okay. Week 6. Who is the NFL MVP of the National Football League? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you the NFL MVP. And I didn't have him as the MVP 2 weeks ago. I had somebody else, but I had him in competition. At this point of the season, Lamar Jackson is clearly the number 1 pick for the MVP. The Ravens are balling. They've had injury problems just like any other team, and they've been winning. Honestly, that was a fluke game against the Raiders. They should be 6-0. The Raiders barely won that game by the hair of their chin. So I'm just saying, ladies and gentlemen, Lamar Jackson for me. What you guys got?
Well, I guess I'll go first, right quick. I mean, it's the same as Lamar Jackson, but we can also flip it and say, I mean, they almost lost to the Lions by the hair of their chinny chin chin. If it wasn't for that, of course, great pass by Lamar and that 66 yarder by Justin Tucker, they easily could have. They could be 3-3. They could be 4-2. But at the end of the day, they're 5-1 at the moment. For me, of course, it is Lamar Jackson, just due to like Dooley said. Besides all the injuries they actually have the most injured players on IR at the moment at 23. And for me, that definitely plays a part in how I'm looking at how Lamar Jackson is performing on the field. Every week, of course, it seems like there's some type of challenge that he's facing. We feel like, oh, this is where they're gonna get him this time, right? Especially with the Chargers game we just saw on Sunday, and just doesn't seem like that at the moment. So it seems like, hey, they're trending upwards. They're trending in the right direction. The Ravens, if you are a Ravens fan, hey, this is some really good stuff at the moment. A third of the season, I feel like they'll just continue to get better and better. But week 14, that's what I want to see. Week 14 to week 18, I want to see them finish out the season. I want to see how they are able to play going into the playoffs. I don't want them to let up on that momentum, because that's something that happened to them last season as well. They kind of let go off the gas. They won their first playoff game against the Titans, ended up losing their next game against the Bills, and I just feel like with them they have to continue doing what got them there and make them who they are, because they feed off of that doubt. They feed off of the people that think that they can't make it and they aren't here in the first place. So shout out to Baltimore. Lamar, keep doing your thing.
Ish, what you got for me, baby?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and make it a clean sweep because it is in fact Lamar Jackson from the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, it's easy enough to say. He's done the most. He's had the most impact. It would be, if we want to throw a little monkey wrench in there, you could argue Kyler Murray and what he's been able to do and still have the Arizona Cardinals undefeated. I mean, it's a quarterback league. Why not look at the quarterback that has an undefeated team at the moment? But for me, I just think that what Lamar has been able to do so far, the impact he's had, the games that he's been able to win, I just think that it's a no-brainer right now. Lamar Jackson has to be the MVP. But I'm looking for him to do this in the playoffs. I know you can do it in the regular season. You've won MVP before, so this is no surprise to me. I know your capabilities, but man, can you do it in the playoffs is the big question. So we'll have to wait and see about that one, though.
No, definitely. Honestly, I feel like when it comes to Lamar and the Ravens, they're a team. First of all, Lamar has been in the playoffs every year he's played NFL football, which is pretty impressive, for a quarterback that is really not that great of a thrower. But his legs make up for so much. It's like, man, the team is going to win. Let's just be honest. What quarterback has got more wins than Lamar in their first 3 seasons? Not many. I know there's a few, but not many. Is this is season number 4, matter of fact. But I just want to say, yeah, Lamar actually, if the Ravens get a better defense, they'll be on the cusp of the Super Bowl, and that's just my opinion. They will definitely be on the cusp of the Super Bowl, because one thing Lamar knows how to do is win, regardless of how we feel about him as a passer. The kid gets the job done consistently.
How much better of a defense do you want Baltimore to have? They just held one of the best offenses in football to 6 points on Sunday.
Yeah, I understood, but I mean, it's not exactly like they got a top 10 defense, top 5. Do they got a top 5 defense?
I mean, top 10 is good enough to win a championship.
At the moment, let me double check for you.
Okay. I'm used to the Ravens. I'm talking about
their defense is 18th at the moment. Total defense, they're 18th. 7th in points against, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Again, it's early in the season. That's probably still going to go up. And I mean, again, you thinking of Ray Lewis and Terrell Suggs and Ed Reed? That era's over with. Stop.
Okay, well,
Everybody that always want to think of with the Titans with Eddie George and Steve McNair. That era's over with. Stop. Think about what's going on. Patrick Queen. That's what they have. That's what they have on defense. Marcus Peters. Of course, he's not there right now because of the ACL injury. But I'm talking about. Let's talk about the guys that's on defense right now. They're playing pretty damn good, and they can continue to keep on playing better.
No, number 18 is not damn good. I don't care about their points per game. All that means is they're pretty good in the red zone. Okay, that is
okay, and that's good. What the fuck again?
No, that's good, but that's not good enough. That's what my point is. Right, it's good, but it'd be nice if they punted the ball instead of getting into the red zone. Because let's just be honest, you can stuff people in the red zone all you want. In the playoffs, I'd rather a defense that you can't even move the ball on.
Okay, that doesn't happen. You do know what era of football we are in, correct? That doesn't happen anymore.
No.
What?
There's always great defense. There's always been great defenses every year.
No, there isn't. No, there isn't.
Yes, there is.
No, there isn't.
Not every year you're going to run into the 2000 Ravens or the 2013 Seahawks. Okay, you're not going to see those types of defenses or the 02 Bucks.
The last best defense in the league was 2015 Buccaneers with Von Miller.
You mean Broncos? Broncos.
Yes, the Broncos. Yes.
Yeah, that was the last great defense. Yeah, you could argue that the Panthers also had a great defense that season as well. But anyway, so Lamar needs a better defense. Let's carry on. And who knows how far he can get. I mean, hey, listen, the Titans got the job done, right? Let's hope the Titans get to see Lamar and them again. I would love to see that in the playoffs once again.
I'm good. He can play the Bills.
All right. I hear you. Now, let's move on, man. We're going to call this Dame time when we discuss whatever's on your mind. All right? So, Ish, talk to me, baby. What's on your mind, man? You feel me?
I mean, it's early in the season. Some people may not want to hear it, but can we talk about the young LaMelo Ball?
Absolutely. We can talk about LaMelo Ball. I love LaMelo. That's my boy.
I know a lot of people were talking. I know when I brought it up his rookie year in our group, a lot of people were like, "Oh, it's one of the Ball brothers. He's gonna be a bust just like Lonzo." And I was looking at him and I was like, "No, I've actually watched this kid and paid attention to him. He's different than his older brother. He's got a different swag about him. He's got a different playing style than his older brother. He attacks the game. He loves to play the game. You can tell he loves to play the game when you watch him play. Dude, I knew he was going to be a problem, but after his rookie year, I was really like, yo, this boy is going to be a problem. And then he only came out in the first game of the season and put up 31, 9, and 7. So he's come out ready to play his sophomore year. I think that this is going to be a big year for him. I think he's going to carry the Hornets. How far he's going to carry them, I don't know. Gordon Hayward also had a pretty good game. I think he scored 27 tonight. So if Gordon Hayward can do what he needs to do, Terry Rozier's there. If he can do some of the carrying, because LaMelo's not going to be able to do it every single game. I don't think he's quite there yet. But he definitely is the kind of impact player that he can take over the game here and there throughout the season, and he is going to have his highlights. I'm excited about him because I feel like when you look at some of these young guards, you got Ja and you got some of these other guys out here that are making noise. I just wanted to see. I like to see these small market teams get some of these players that bring some hype to them. And it's refreshing to get the Hornets. And finally, Michael Jordan can say he got a pick right.
Yeah, no.
Man.
I'm with you 100%-ish. And I've been said LaMelo was the best Ball brother even before he touched the NBA simply because of his scoring. He's the same caliber of passer Lonzo is. You could argue Lonzo might be better, or you could argue LaMelo is a better passer. But you cannot argue who's the better scorer. LaMelo's the better scorer. That's not even a debate. So I'm with you 100% when it comes to LaMelo Ball. And I'm going to be honest, depending on how that kid develops and he's looking good, you might be looking at a future MVP. For God's sakes, he's a 6'7" point guard who's arguably a top 10 passer that can shoot. That's tough to compete with, ladies and gentlemen. What you got to say about that, X? Or go ahead. What's on your mind, dog? Talk to me.
It definitely ain't LiAngelo Ball. It ain't that. But also when the Hornets not lose by 75 points in an exhibition game, I'll actually take them a little seriously. But I'm not taking them serious at all unless they have a winning record.
We're talking about LaMelo, not the Hornets. But
hey, I'm just saying he's on the Hornets. Am I wrong? I mean, he's on the Hornets team.
Kobe sucked for a couple years on the Lakers. They were trash. Okay, that was still your boy, right? It's different then, huh? Okay,
yeah, not even the same thing. Like, it's not even the same thing. It's not even the same thing. All right, y'all got it.
Hold on. Let me roast X a little bit more. X,
oh Lord, sure. Let's go.
When I brought it up, and you and your little short friend, we're not gonna say his name on here, but you know who I'm talking about.
I don't know.
We're like, who coaches for the Hornets? It matters who coaches for the Hornets. And I was like, bruh, it doesn't matter if you can ball the way this kid can ball. It don't matter who coaches for the Hornets. Y'all like, yes, it does. All right, all that and so on. What y'all got to say now?
When you bring up the receipts, then we can actually believe what you're saying.
What y'all have to say now?
There's no receipts to what you're saying.
The coach matters that much?
There's no receipts. There's no receipts. There's no receipts to what you're saying. Okay. You're going off of what you want to say.
You're going to deny now. So you're going to deny now.
I have no receipts. I don't remember. So.
All right.
Okay. But yeah, X, you still didn't bring up your Dame time. What's on your mind? All you did was
I'm gonna go to football and move away from basketball right quick. For me, I think it's very interesting to see the Green Bay Packers. Looks like they're going all in. Like I said earlier, with some of these football teams, being able to pick up Whitney Merciless just a couple weeks right after they pick up Jalen Smith from the Cowboys. I think that's a very, very underrated pickup. And I know Whitney Merciless might not scare people, but Whitney Merciless is a very fair pass rusher. And one thing about the Green Bay Packers, we stress this plenty of times, is Aaron Rodgers can do what he needs to do on offense. It's the defense that needs to get better to give Aaron Rodgers an opportunity to maybe get an extra 1 or 2 possessions in a playoff game to actually win a playoff game. And with this move, adding Jalen Smith and now also Whitney Merciless, you seriously have to look at the Green Bay Packers a lot differently now, because right at the moment, the NFC is stacked. It is a bloodbath. And whoever comes out of the NFC is going to be the most deserved team in NFL at the moment. But if the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers feel like, hey, this is the year that we can do it, I honestly feel like this could be it. They are playing very, very good football. And if you can get these linebackers on the same page, and of course, Merciless, depending on how they play their defense, he most likely will be on the line. If you can get these guys and be able to make impact plays when it's necessary, why not the Green Bay Packers in the Super Bowl? Again, this is a quarterback that's been there. Again, it's easy to say Kyler Murray. It's easy to say Stafford with the Rams. It's easy to say, even of course with Tom Brady. But those 2 other guys besides Tom Brady don't have, of course, that Super Bowl experience. So it's going to be interesting to me to see how the rest of the season plays out in the NFL, and to see if the rest of these moves play out. There's going to be some more moves with some more teams, and it's going to be who the battle of nutrition moving forward. It's going to be who can stay healthiest, really.
No, I'm with you 100%, X. Honestly, the way I feel about Rodgers is, he's a great quarterback. I feel like he should have been at least one more Super Bowl. But this is my thing. He hasn't proven to be able to win it without a top-ranked defense. You know what I mean? So it's like, is this Packers defense, even with the moves that were made, top 5? Because no matter how great of an offense Rodgers has, year in, year out, he seems to get stuffed at the right times all the time. So it's just tough to me. I have to call the facts for where they stand. For instance, you guys know I had Tampa Bay into the NFC Championship. I was stupid enough to go with Green Bay and Lambeau instead of just sticking with the Bucks to win the Super Bowl. You know, but that's because year after year, oh, Aaron Rodgers, NFC Championship, and there was no excuse for Rodgers to lose that game. You know, none. You know, so I just got it. Honestly, I don't know if it's enough for the Packers. What you think, Ish? What you think?
I mean, I just don't know with the Packers, man. It's always I think everybody's always really high on them, and then whenever they don't come through, then the excuses come out of, oh, well, Aaron Rodgers didn't have the weapons, and
Man,
if they would
woo,
help him out, and
man,
this and that. But earlier in the season, everybody was going with them as like, oh, that's the team to watch. They're the ones that's gonna go. They're gonna go all the way, and then it's only when it falls through at the end that now he doesn't have the weapons and all that. I'm tired of it. You can miss me with any of the hype you want to have for Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. I'll wait until they get to the playoffs and they do it. I mean, I think, yeah, they're going to make the playoffs because of the division that they're in, although that division is starting to get a lot tougher. So I think Aaron Rodgers can see the writing on the wall, and he's out of there because he knows that they don't support him when it comes to weapons. I agree. He doesn't
man.
really have weapons. But at the end of the day, I mean, you can't be high on them and say, oh, they're going to do it. They're going to do it. And then only when they don't do it, now you say the weapons is the problem. Like, you either believe they're going to do it without the weapons, or you know that they don't got the weapons to do it. Like, as plain as that, right?
I mean, it's common sense that everybody says all the time that Aaron Rodgers don't have the weapon, but because of how great Aaron Rodgers is, he's able to move the team along with the shitty weapons that he have. I mean, again, I don't understand the disconnect. We all know the Aaron Rodgers problem that goes on in Green Bay. We know that Aaron Rodgers has had a good defense for years now. The same way Tom Brady is able to win championships because he has great defenses. So
Not all the time.
yes,
Not all the
yes,
time.
yes, Dooley, all the time. Yes, there was already a ranking that came out of all the top defenses that he had from the Patriots to also Tampa Bay last year. He had top 10 defenses every time he won a Super Bowl.
Not
So
every
again,
season.
yes,
Not
he
every.
did. Yes, he did.
I got to go back and look at the first
That's
season.
no
The first
problem.
season, that Patriots defense.
That's no problem. That's
They
no
made
problem.
plays when it counted.
This
Hold
man.
on. See, we going towards the defense. Rodgers also gets stuffed in crucial times. Okay, and so what about Rodgers' fault in all this? Tom Brady makes the proper throws, ladies and gentlemen. Aaron Rodgers gets stuffed. Like NFC Championship last year. Oh, now you guys want to come back in the second half? You should have had your foot on Tampa Bay's neck from the jump of the game. Man, listen, the fact Rodgers hasn't
Did you
even
forget? You must have forgot about that game. What happened last year? Huh? You remember the whole disconnect between the play calling between head coach and Aaron Rodgers?
right, which is okay.
Yeah. So that's what happened with that game. Again, let's forget about what happened last year. Let's talk about what's going on this year.
I mean, what's going on this year is going to be the same story.
Let's be real. After week one, everybody was going crazy. Everybody felt like the Packers' season was already over with. They've won 5 in a row, and everybody forgot all about the week one loss. Okay,
Yep.
Thank you. So with that being said, it's a long season. Let's all wait and see what happens. Tom Brady could break his foot in 2 weeks. Dak could hurt his eyeball. I'm just, again, things like this happens to where we don't know what. I'm just saying we don't know what's going to happen. And for anybody to just, for y'all to just not even discredit, but just throw away Aaron Rodgers, say, oh, because of what happened last year or 3 years ago or whatever years ago, again, that's perfectly fine. That's cool with you. I'm an individual. At the moment, if I need to give the keys to somebody, I'm giving them to Aaron Rodgers before I give them to Dak. I'm giving them to Aaron Rodgers before I give them to Jimmy G. I'm giving them to Aaron Rodgers before I give them to, again, other quarterbacks in the NFC besides Thomas Brady.
You're saying the obvious. You're saying the obvious.
Right.
Everybody's giving Aaron Rodgers the keys instead of Jimmy Garoppolo.
But again,
but
again, though, what Dooley is saying is that he's continued to done this. He continued to do this, as in get stuffed and get this and get that. And again, I got you. I'm not discrediting it. I'm not saying that didn't happen. But again, the notion that Ish is saying like, oh, in the beginning of the season, people felt like the Packers should go to the Super Bowl. Let's be real. Everybody's supposed to feel like they're supposed to go to the Super Bowl when the season starts. And nobody really said like, "Oh yeah, they have the roster to do it."
Don't be.
I'm just being
cliche.
be for real.
Exactly,
be for real,
exactly the
Ish.
conversation.
Ain't no in the last 10 years, ain't nobody said that the Packers had the roster to go make a Super Bowl run.
You are completely lying.
Okay.
Every single year, everybody's talking about who are the contenders in the NFC. The Green Bay Packers 9 times out of 10 are in the list of contenders for the NFC Championship to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. I promise you that. They always are. So the conversation that you having or what you're saying,
just because you're a contender, don't mean you're supposed to win it all.
Oh my gosh! If you're a
Am I
contender,
wrong?
people are saying that you're going to go.
You have an opportunity. You have an opportunity to win. It doesn't mean you're necessarily going to win the championship.
Okay, so if people say they have an opportunity to win, then where is the excuse when they lose? Then people are saying, "Oh no, they don't have the weapon. They don't have the weapons. That's why they don't have the weapons." But you named them as a contender to begin with. Like that doesn't make sense, X. It don't make sense for you to be high on them and say that they're the contender for the NFC, and then only when they don't do it for years.
Can I say something? Can I rebuttal to it? Can I rebuttal to it? Because Ish, you've already like are claiming what I've already stated. You've already said that they play in a shitty division, correct? Meaning that they're going to make the playoffs, okay? But when they get to the playoffs, what does that mean? That means you have to play other teams that are as good as you are probably better than you. So that's where we get to where instead of worrying about the Bears, the Bears, the Lions, and the oh Lord, I forgot the other team. There you go.
Vikings.
There you go. Thank you. And the Vikings. My bad. Apologies.
Yeah, the Vikings.
Now you have to seriously worry about the Arizona Cardinals or Tampa Bay Buccaneers and these other teams that are in the NFC. And am I giving them an excuse? No, I'm just saying you don't see these teams every year. You don't play the Cardinals every year. You don't play the Tom Brady and the Bucs every year. We do know that Aaron Rodgers owned the Chicago Bears. We do know that he's going to take care of the Lions and he's going to take care of the Vikings. But when they get into real situations and playoff situations, there are things where even again, we've seen it in playoffs where Aaron Rodgers put up 35 points and the defense gives up 40. I mean, you can blame Aaron Rodgers, but again, it's kind of hard to win. It's hard for anybody to win a game when their defense is giving up 40 points. That's all.
No, I'm definitely with both of you guys, man. I really want to. Let's move on from Dame time, baby. That was a great session. I love it. Yeah, I swear, random topics like that. That's what you need. So let's keep it lit, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna go with team that underachieved and overachieved the most last weekend. I'm gonna start this off, ladies and gentlemen. You gotta give this the overachievers to the Tennessee Titans. Hell of a win over the Buffalo Bills, who I have going to the Super Bowl. Still, the Tennessee Titans ran that ball, gave the ball to King Henry, and King Henry dragged the team along. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the Tennessee Titans is the one team that needs a quarterback. Ryan Tannehill is not it, and they will not win anything as long as Ryan Tannehill continues to be the quarterback and play so abysmal. Also, Julio needs to step it up as well, the receivers as well, but that all goes back to Tannehill. Okay, but the way, if you can have a running back that can carry you, literally, Derrick Henry won that game. They're like, period. X, my man, my Titans fan. Or what you guys got for me? A team that overachieved, talk to me, baby.
Is it me or is it Ish?
Go ahead, X. You got it, man. I'll let you go.
Well,
give me a second, my bad.
No, because I was gonna say honestly, Ish, the Titans did their thing, man. The Titans did their thing this week.
I'll go with underachieved team. I'll go with the LA Chargers. A lot of people expected that to be the game of the week, going to Baltimore, playing against another very good team, and also, of course, two MVPs in the race, Justin Herbert and Lamar Jackson. And for the LA Chargers to go out there and put up a stinker, was not expecting that from the Chargers, especially on the offensive end. I wouldn't have put them, as the underachieved team if they scored more points. But again, 2 field goals. I mean, that's disrespectful for this offense. And big ups to the Ravens for what they were able to do, take care of business at the bank, and put another team on their scorecard when it comes to another dub. Man, that's like I said, big ups to the Ravens on that one.
I love it. I love it. What you got for me, Ish?
I mean, let's address something that's not the sexiest pick in the world, but definitely needs to be talked about as the underachievers. The Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins. First off, they've underachieved for the entire season. But let's talk about them underachieving against a winless Jacksonville Jaguars. The longest losing streak is now broken thanks to the Miami Dolphins in Tua Tagovailoa. So, I mean, for me, it's easy to say that they are the underachievers. Like, they should have won that game. They were winning. They were leading at halftime. I mean, I'm sure everybody thought, like, okay, they must, they're going to have this one. And then what do you do but go out and stink up the joint in the second half and somehow allow Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars to beat you? Urban Meyer, congratulations, sir. Trevor Lawrence, congratulations, sir. You guys are winners in London, the best record in London. Urban Meyer has the best coaching record in London, 100% victory right there. I mean, my goodness. What can you say about these Jacksonville Jaguars? We know they're going to go and upset Tennessee in a couple of weeks, but we're going to save that for another day.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, okay. Well, let's carry on, man, to the last segment of the show. Okay. Let's talk 30 seconds, ladies and gentlemen, on what your team needs to do to be better. Okay. Honestly, I really don't have much to say about the Washington football team. It's the same thing. It's the same story week after week after week. Boys, it's just depressing. Go ahead. I don't know what to say. I'm depressed.
I mean, you should have a lot to say. I mean, it's only up from here.
Yeah, no, it's only up for here. We just need. I feel like our quarterback play would be better if the line was better. I love our running game. That's pretty much seems to be the highlight of the offense is the running game. The defense. It's like there's just a whole bunch of talkers on the defense, like people that just talk, but you're not making any plays. That's just my opinion. So it's just what people like to call a shit show. Okay, there you go.
I mean, if you want me to go ahead and talk about what my team needs to do, man, keep it simple and take what they give you. If you don't stop with that nonsense, also keep Jackson Mahomes away from this damn team because I don't know what he's doing, but he doesn't even need to be around the team. Okay,
Corvette.
Yeah, he's probably the reason why they've been losing like that. When you got somebody around you doing it, we see what happened with Juju and all his TikToks before games. Clearly, we having some issues with Jackson Mahomes and the TikTok making that he's doing before these games. But just keep it simple. Take what the defense gives you. Play simple on defense. Keep the guys in front of you, and we should, turn things around. Hopefully.
And for the Tennessee Titans, first things first, you just got to get healthy. It's too many hurt bodies at the moment. Lost two guys for the year on that Monday Night Football game. Taylor Lewan might be out a couple weeks due to a concussion. Other than that, just continue to keep getting better game in and game out. Every week is 0-0. Ish, of course, made a joke talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars going to beat the Titans, which is not going to happen. But, of course, there was a lot of he after the Titans lost to the Jets, and now a lot of people are hush mouth after you beat the Bills. But at the end of the day, for people that actually not watch football, I'm talking about actually play football, know damn well that this is a very emotional season. It's an up and down season, and it's very, very rare for any team to go undefeated throughout the whole season unless you're playing bum asses in high school and bum asses in college. But for the most part, you're gonna lose some games. And at the end of the day, it's not about the losses. It's about being able to be healthy, play together at the right time moving forward into the playoffs and having that momentum and being able to carry it throughout the playoffs to win a Super Bowl. Because when you win a Super Bowl, nobody cares about the loss that you had against the worst team in the league. And you're going to continue to, raise that Lombardi trophy while everybody talk about that loss you had in week 4, but nobody cares about. So, anywho, other than that, hey, just continue to get healthy.
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes another show of Dat Man Dooley Live. You know where to find me if you need me, baby. Anyways, my boy X Ish, talk to the people once again.
Y'all know where to find us. X Talking is all social media platforms. Of course, we do our pregame show on Sundays, do our postgame show on Tuesdays. Please come join us on all social media platforms. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. And that wraps it all up, baby.